Hey, happy afternoon, everybody. It's Laurie-Ann with today's Facebook Live show and where to find more customers and clients. And it's a big question that I get asked a lot. And so I figured, let's just do a show and let's answer it. And I'll help guide you through where to find some new customers and clients. I'm just going to share this into a couple of groups. Like my own private Facebook group, which is Entrepreneurs Making an Impact. And by the way, I'm having a little contest on a new name for that group. Yes, so if you think of anything that you think would be exciting and fun, please feel free to submit that. And we're also going to put this in the Lacey Sites Lit Up and Loaded Entrepreneur as well. So let's get started because we are going to talk about where to find new customers and clients. And because without a constant flow of new customers and clients, you might as well just close the door. And let me know as you're jumping on where you are watching from. And if you have any questions, just kind of put a few question marks in the comments and I will know. It'll be super easy for me to find that. So let's just dive right in. I'm going to give you a couple of ideas on how to find more customers and clients. And I want you to think of them as your family. And that's how we're going to look at our customers and our clients, and where to find more of them is by looking within our family. And what I mean by family is who are some of the people that you could be, you all have the same, like family members all kind of, like we're all one. And who else is serving your customers and clients? Those are the people that we want to kind of like talk about. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So love to know where you are watching from. Please feel free to type in, and because I love to give you guys a shout out. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Laurie-Ann. I am best known as a professional speaker in the leadership and personal development arena. I've written a couple of Amazon best-selling books on leadership and personal development, and I am now helping entrepreneurs build their business by using speaking and getting more leads, more sales, and more margins. So let's dive in. Share with me what industry you're in. What exactly are you? Are you a type of a coach? Are you a consultant? Are you a service space? Like maybe you're a web designer, you're a brand strategist, you're a virtual assistant. Share with me like what you do, because if you do, I'll be able to share with you some ideas on who is in your family. So let's see, Sally is joining us from San Antonio, Texas. I gotta say, Sally, I'm probably a little jealous today because it is cold. It's just plain cold here. I'm in the southern part of New Hampshire today, and yeah, it feels like October. So let me know, Sally, what do you do down in San Antonio, Texas? And type in what your profession is, what your business is, and if you would also like, feel free to type in your domain name so that other people can, maybe there's going to be some collaboration that's actually going to happen here on this particular episode. So I want you to think of your customers as entering into your family. So who else is in your family that basically serves your customer? So I'm going to give you an example. Somebody like a money mindset coach is in the same family as a financial planner, as a mortgage broker, as all these different money people, bankers, CPAs, bookkeepers, etc. They're all in the same family. So if you're a money mindset coach and you're looking for new customers, what financial planners do you know? Because here's one of the things how I look at this is that a financial planner could be having some difficulty with some of their clients because of the money block. And what if you were able to teach them a little bit about like what you do and how you help clients get over those money blocks. And, same thing with like brokers and bankers. I mean, there's like a lot of, the money family is actually pretty darn big. I don't have my resource guide right here, but I have this book. It's about like this thick, and it covers all the associations that are here in the U.S. And a lot of those associations, they have lots of meetings and conferences, and it's broken down by state and also by industry. And so you could literally like look up like who else is in that money industry? Insurance. Besides the financial planners, your CPAs, like anybody that has anything to do with that sort of financial stuff. And so you as a money mindset coach could actually be speaking to the insurance association, to the bankers association, because you're all talking about money. I have a friend of mine who is by trade, when she got out of college, she was a therapist and ended up coaching people on money, and now has written several books on money for couples, money for women. And I'm trying to think of what, I know that she's got at least 3 out, and she's a very big speaker in the financial industry, talking to financial planners and investors, all regarding, basically, like a lot of the views and beliefs about money. So so I want to say hello to Jen as well. Thanks for joining. And so that's just one industry that I'm tapping into. So let's, for example, say that you're a health coach. And I know I always use health coaching as one of my examples, but it's just probably because there's so many different industries that, basically, without your health, most people, I think, we take our health for granted until we don't have it. So health is just something that, like, as a population, as people, like, we all have in common. So there are, and I personally know a number of health coaches, and maybe, and I keep talking about like niching down, and as a health coach, you do need to niche down, but like as a health coach, you might work with new moms. So where do you find new moms? You might also find them like with daycares or pediatricians, thinking like prenatal care, and all of I have a friend of mine who's a child behaviorist, and she comes into your home and helps you like with basically with any sort of behavior problems that might arise from children, and that can be for a number of reasons. It can be from health issues, or just from some trauma, or maybe even some stress that's going on in the family. So these are different people that, like, geez, if you were a health coach, maybe you want to hook up with somebody like this, so that if your specialty happens to be in children or new moms, but maybe it's more in the fitness industry. So now we're going to be targeting, we're like, look who's in your family. And another great way to see who's in your family is to ask your clients. Ask them, like, who else, are you working with? Who else, what other services do you invest in? Let's just take a moment. Feel free to type in any questions, or if you want some ideas from me in regards to like who's in your family, or like who to think about who's in your family. I just want to say a shout out to Stacy. You've made it to one of the calls, to one of the shows. Thanks for joining. I'm glad you were able to, because I know that you happen to be a very busy mom. And I know that Jen is on the West Coast, and she's doing some very interesting work. Let's see, Sally tells me that she is an intimacy and relationship coach focusing on sexual empowerment. I have a girlfriend of mine. She used a different name when she did her podcast, but it was actually a really good podcast. And Sally, you've got lots of people that are in your family. There are lots of very interesting podcasts. I just ran across somebody's program, and I can't remember the name off the top of my head. But also, you're looking at like therapists, even I'm thinking like even like the wedding industry, because a lot of, there's a big saying that we spend more time planning the wedding than we do planning the relationship. And so I think that that is so key. I also knew somebody else who was in the money industry regarding couples. That's how niche down she was in regards to money mindset coaching, was specifically for newlyweds. So just share with me like some of the questions that you have. I know that Stacy, really, she's got a great, monthly, it's called Embrace Social You, and she helps small business owners, basically stay on top of how quickly, social media changes. So she's working with the small business owners, and there are lots of people in her family. So those are a couple of examples. I'm hoping that sort of sparks some ideas about like who's in your family. So who's in your family? Who have, like just thinking about like what I've been talking about here today about finding like new customers and clients, like who can you basically collaborate with? What other industries can you maybe speak for in different meetings, different conferences? And even if you go and attend those conferences and not necessarily speak at them this year, you could go and join them, because that's where your market is hanging around. And when you're there hanging around with your market, what you do is never on the first day, but maybe towards the middle to the end of the conference, is you find out who's running the conference, find out the meeting planners, and you can just like go up to them and have a sincere conversation. And that's when you can actually ask them, when do you start planning your next year's conference? Or how many conferences do you have? Just being able to build that relationship, that's how you can get picked as your speaker for the following year. And let's see, Stacy says, thanks for the shout out. I'm going to be attending a local real estate meeting next month. That's fantastic, Stacy. And that is, I think the real estate market is an industry that is, I want to say like almost like untapped with how to use social media. I have seen some realtors use live video really, really well. And also just like when they have like a new listing, walking through the house and, basically taking you on a tour and, like then they put it on YouTube and put all those keywords like the address, how many bedrooms, the city, the town, the county that the home is listed in. And that is, like those are all great SEO. And we all have to remember that Google owns YouTube, and Google is searching, YouTube, searching all those keywords, but Google is also searching Facebook. So as a realtor, to be able to put your keywords in your listings and maybe doing some Facebook Lives with your new listings, and even maybe interviewing some of your happy customers, people who have either sold their house or bought their house. So Stacey, I think that the real estate market is in my opinion, is just hugely untapped in regards to social media. I think there's a lot of people that are still doing things old school, the way we've always done it. And that's the whole beauty about social media, is to be able to do something a little bit different. So let me just share with you, so I'm a business coach and a speaking strategist. And one of the things that I do is I use my years of speaking to help my clients. So some of the people who I would say are in my family are like chamber events, some entrepreneurial conferences, entrepreneurial events. There are women's networking events. I do believe that women network much differently than men do. And they deserve that space, to network by themselves with other women entrepreneurs. Another industry I would say that's in my family is universities. Yes, universities. I am a guest lecturer at Boston University, and I've also spoken at Babson College, which is the #1 entrepreneurial college in the world. and I am going to be adding another university here in New Hampshire to that list. And some people might think that speaking at universities is sort of a waste of time, but it's not. Not only is it a great way for me to give back and help these young minds before they enter into the workforce, but think about it that these people eventually will get out of college and then have jobs. And if they remember you from a conference or speaking at their class, they might be working for somebody who's then going to say, hey, we need a speaker on this topic. And so do you know anybody, or can you do a search? And there you go. It's a great way to just be able to touch on as many people's lives as possible. And so I am going to be speaking on presentation skills, both I think like in meetings and also publicly, because we all know that when you're sitting for an interview, the way that you speaks volumes about who you are and the skills that you have. So that is, like another one that I'm going to be, that's in my family. So don't forget about universities and colleges, local schools, maybe even high schools that are close by you. One, it's also great practice for you as well to get out there and get your name known and get some referrals and maybe even some photography. So let's see. There are a lot of virtual groups that I also belong to. I would consider those to be in my family. And something that you'll be seeing next week in regards to my Facebook post is how does your audience get to know you? And I call that kind of, I'm using a friend of mine who teaches sales, and it's the exposure. What exposure do you have out there? So today's show is all about how to find new customers and clients, and finding out, really just trying to almost doing a little genealogy and figuring out who's in your family. Who do you want to be in your family? Who do you need to build more relationships with in your family? And we're thinking about other industries and other people who or other jobs that serve your customers and clients already, so that you can actually all collaborate together and become not only a referral base, but maybe you could actually help these other people that are in your family that serve the same customers and clients, help them serve their clients even better. And that's what we want to be able to do. And that's how you get your name out there. So back to the money mindset coach. If you're starting to work with and build those relationships like with bankers or financial planners, because a lot of financial planners also work very independent, how can you help them help their clients? So that, one, they can also refer people to you. Maybe you want to speak at an office meeting, at an industry meeting, whether that's local, state, or national level. Maybe you want to be a sponsor at one of those conferences or meetings. Somebody else who's part of my family, and this would relate to a lot of people that are out there, but network marketers. There's a lot of people that are in network marketing, direct sales, MLMs, whatever you want to call it. Somebody over the weekend called it a shopping club, and whatever you want to call it. All of this particular industry has so many different needs. Everything from health to financial planning to, oh my God, just everything is out there in regards to, I'm trying to think of some of the ones that I belong to that I have. I've participated in multi-level marketing myself, and I use a number of products, from friends who sell some amazing products. So who else is in your family? And it's, thank you, Stacey. Beachbody coaches, have monthly meetings and have speakers come in. One of those, that was one of your first speaking opportunities. Fantastic. And we got to put that out, we need that information on your speaker page. And maybe it's quarterly. And hi, Deb. It's nice to see you. Deb is from the West Coast. She's another executive coach. And so who's in your family? and just building those relationships that are in your family. So let's see, I want to share with you today I have a sponsor. We have a sponsor for today's show, and the name of the company, it's called Hooksies. And this is the necklace that I am wearing. I want to give a shout out to Hooksies. Hooksies is functional jewelry. One of the reasons why I wear it is because it's so damn pretty. And this one happens to be stainless steel. It's sterling silver. And I'm going to show you what it is it holds your eyeglasses or your sunglasses, and you hold it in here, and you actually can lock, the bead is movable, so it locks in place, and it is not coming off. You could do, as the owner of the company, the CEO, told me, you can actually do cartwheels in this thing, and you're never going to lose your glasses. Again, I wear it because I just find it's so damn pretty. If this is something that you, the name of the website is Hooksies, HOOKSEES.com. And I do have a promotional code. Trying to put it on straight. I do have a promotional code for 20% off. So if you want to direct message me, I will be sure to get you that code. So I want to kind of move on to the question of the week. And if you ever have a question that you want to be answered on any of our shows, the QOW, the question of the week, please feel free to send me a direct message or an email. And we know that my information is all over the place. So today's question of the week actually comes from Stacy. And Stacy was asking me, what tools do I use for follow-up, especially with speaking gigs? And I actually do a couple of things so that I never forget. How many times have you forgotten to follow up with somebody and just kind of like bit you in the butt later on? So I do a couple of things. I am an Apple girl, so I will use the Reminders app, and because I can date and time things, I will put things in my calendar. For example, I have some people that want to talk to me about booking me for the springtime, and they want to talk to me in early November. So I will actually put something in my calendar probably for the first full week of November. Another thing that I use is some sort of project management tool like Trello or Asana, where I can actually date something and assign it to somebody. So assign it to myself. And I also, on top of all of that, typically on Mondays, early in the afternoon, I actually will have a 30-minute slot that is actually called, so I have a follow-up time in my calendar. And that follow-up time is used for not just for speaking events, but also for potential clients, people who have expressed an interest in working with me. Maybe they didn't want to start with me right away, and also like maybe after a sales call, just to give them some time to think. Or it's just to send somebody like that paperwork to like, okay, we're going to get started working. There's all sorts. So I actually have time in my calendar that is actually dedicated to following up. How many times have you known that you needed to follow up with somebody, but you were waiting for, I just don't have time right now. I'll do it tonight. I'll do it tomorrow. And then tonight and tomorrow just never comes, and you end up forgetting about it. And you can lose a lot of really good speaking opportunities and even clients because of that. So just to recap, I put basically dates, appointments in my calendar. I use the Reminder app on my Apple phone. And I also use Asana or Trello. Currently, I'm using Asana for those type of follow-ups for both clients and also for speaking gigs. And then I also have a specific time on Monday afternoons when I actually do my follow-ups. And that helps keep me on track and on target. And also a part of those follow-up is when I will also follow up post-events. Meaning I've already spoken at the event, and now it's time for me to send them the email to request the testimonial and to, basically introduce me to other people who might benefit from the same message that I shared at their conference or meeting. So I hope that helps. That was kind of a long-winded answer, But again, today's episode was sponsored by Hooksies, and feel free to direct message me if you would like that 20% off code. Figure out who's in your family, and let's share. Please feel free to share your website and what you do, because I think that there's a lot of people here who actually will benefit from each other, and you'll be able to do some networking because of this show. Basically what I want you to do is, have a bigger family. By having a bigger family, you're going to have a bigger referral base, and you'll be able to help other people also with their customers and clients. And let me just peek over here. Deb says this was very helpful. Oh, thanks, Deb. It was really, I'm so psyched that you were able to join me today, being out in the West Coast, or you're probably traveling around, because I know that you actually do travel a lot. So enjoy the week. Maybe start booking some follow-up time in your schedule. And on next week's show, I will be talking about, it will be posted real soon. You'll probably see that on Wednesday. I've actually booked and scheduled all of my shows through the end of November. So I've got some really interesting shows that are coming up. Just to kind of give you a little teaser, we're also going to be talking about what problem do you solve. Making a connection for your customers and your clients from what you offer to where the money is. So really like drawing that line, as a friend of mine likes to call it. I want you to start thinking about the holidays. I know it's like most people aren't like thinking about this yet, but what I'm getting my clients to do is to start thinking about the holidays, because what's the first holiday is Thanksgiving. And what happens the day after Thanksgiving? It's Black Friday. So let's start thinking and planning so that you're not scrambling. And this is something that I'm working with all of my private clients, is to start thinking about, if you're going to have a Black Friday offer, what is it? Do you need a sales page? Do you need to set up links? Let's put it on your website. Start thinking about your Black Friday. So those are some of the shows that are going to be coming up. You'll be seeing more of that. So I will talk to you all later, and have a great week. And if you want to be the question of the week, please feel free to submit that, and speak and stand out, everybody.